staff reached an unimaginable scale. Apart from the 2 deaths, the Commission and staff suffered other atrocities, including, but not limited to, assault and injury of the chairman, Commissioners Professor Abdi Gulier and Boya Molu, and the Commission Secretary and Chief Executive Officer Mr. Marjan Hussein at the National Tallying Center during the declaration of results. Unwarranted arrest of a voter education coordinator by anti-terrorist police unit on the floor of the National Tallying Center, who was detained for 3 days. Abduction, torturing, and holding incommunicado for 9 hours of the managed election operations and a support staff by persons to be believed to be security agencies. Attempted arrest of 3 staff members who are lawfully verifying election results on the floor of National Tallying Center. Abduction of a staff of a service provider working at the National Communication Center. Harassment and physical assault of staff of service providers manning heavy-duty printing and photocopying machines at the National Election Communication Center. Physical assault of election officials in parts of Narok, Kakamega, Kirinyaga, Wajir, Nairobi, amongst others. In one instance, a presiding officer in Eldas constituency was shot in the leg, resulting to amputation. Physical assault of returning officers bringing results to the National Tallying Center. Breaking into offices of senior commission staff at the National Tallying Center with the intention of accessing sensitive data. Ethnic profiling, targeting, and cyberbullying of members of the commission and its staff. To date, no one has been arrested for these crimes committed against members of the commission and its staff. As it stands, no human rights or civil society organization have condemned these heinous acts meted on the commission and its staff. Working for IEBC should not be a death sentence. The commission reiterates that election is a process and not an event. This process started immediately after 2017 general election, and the commission tested its systems and processes in over the 40 by-elections in the last 5 years. Therefore, the Supreme Court judgment today is a testimony that the commission conducted a free, fair, transparent, and credible general election that met the democratic aspirations of the people of Kenya. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is finally vindicated. We look forward to the full judgment of the Supreme Court, as well as feedback from our stakeholders during the post-election evaluation exercises which will inform areas of improvement in the electoral process. Finally, the Commission wishes to thank immensely its legal team in not only defending it, but also enduring that the sovereign will of the people of Kenya is protected. God bless Kenya. God bless the IEBC. Thank you. That's our statement today. And unless you have 1 or 2 questions, I believe it's been a great day. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Hassan from SIGNET. Yes, Hassan.
I'm asking about the 4 commissioners who have assisted up to the moment, the 4 other commissioners. Have you gotten to speak to them, or are you extending an olive branch for posterity of the commission?
I don't know where that's coming from, but let me say this, that as a commission, we follow the law, and it's up to them and their conscience what they want to do going forward. But as a commission, we follow the law, and we have not chased away anyone. Yeah, thank you. So, tuonane. Asante.
Right, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati giving an briefing on that particular, how the elections were performed. And quite notable then is what he has said, that working for IEBC shouldn't be a death sentence, quite a strong sentence right there.
Absolutely, but one thing of importance is that in the appreciation speech made by the president-elect, that is William Ruto, he termed Wafula Chebukati, the IEBC chairperson, as the hero of the just concluded, the unsung hero of the just concluded general election. So indeed, it is quite a strong statement, but also what Chebukati said in the report that he was actually giving out is that no life of any IEBC official should be taken for granted, whenever there is an election. Indeed. Well, as of now, it has been a lot of turn of events since the 15th of August. Maybe just a brief recap before we get to talk to a lot of our reporters who are on ground and ready to give us some of the updates, and maybe just to link up with some of them. I do understand right now it is our reporter Willie Dennis Njiro, a Nakuru-based reporter Willie Dennis Njiro, who is in Naivasha town. Willie, good afternoon. Kindly bring us up to speed with what is taking place in Naivasha town. What is the mood like?
Thank you very much, my colleague and namesake Dennis in studio. We are coming to you live from the main market here in Naivasha, where we got to meet very many locals here, and the narrative and whatever the talk of the town is the presidential election and what has preceded the announcement at the courts in Nairobi. But without much time, I'll be handing over the mantle to them. I will just give a small insight regarding to your question that there's a lot of normalcy here. There's a lot of coexistence in the town, and this is expected to carry on throughout whatever time that it may be. And with the acceptance speech from the now President-elect William Ruto, that is Dr. William Ruto, vary of sentiments here from the locals, and without taking much time, I have one lady here. Let's start with her names. Tueleze jina la kwako. Sasa mambo yamekuwa nyuma yetu sasa. Sijui una yapi ya kusema.
Mimi niko na furaha sana, naitwa Rosemary Yabes, mkaaji hapa Naivasha. Mimi niko na furaha sana kwa sababu sikutaka tena ile enzi ya 2007 tena irudie tena. Nashukuru Mungu ya kwamba wananchi nyasi, sisi ni kama nyasi, tumechanuka. Wanasiasa watatutumia tena. Tumechanuka sasa, maendeleo itakuwa kama kawaida. Yeah.
Wewe ni mfanyabiashara, kulikuwa na tetesi awali kwamba biashara haziendi vizuri, baadhi ya bidhaa za shamba hazikuwa zinawafikia. Sasa mambo ikoje?
Sasa ni swali kwa sababu watu walikuwa wanahofia, kwa sababu unajua watu wenye wako especially Eldoret, Kericho, Kisumu, hata Omena tukua na nyakati ya kuletewa, lakini sasa naomba Mwenyezi Mungu amefanya muamuzi bushara kabisa. Yeah.
Asante, wacha tusikie kutoka kwa ndugu hapa. Jina la kwako angalia.
Majina ni sawa. Majina ni Okwaro Benson, mkaaji hapa Naivasha. Na kama naangalia hivi mami bado ni upcoming youth, ngali youth. Kwanza sisi tumeshukuru uamuzi wa koti. Ni jambo la busara, jambo la heshima, na ambapo tunashukuru na tunatarajia kwamba rais wetu atatuangalia sisi kama maasolo, kama vile tunavyotuona hivi. Sisi tungali vijana, tunategemea kwa serikali yetu. Na tumeshukuru sana uamuzi wa koti, at least tuko relieved, na tunaomba tu amani na mambo yaendelee.
Wewe uko sawa, umeridhika kwa maamuzi ya koti. Aliyekutangulia kuzungumza mbele yako alisema sisi ni nyasi, wale wako juu labda ni mnyama mwingine. Labda huenda wewe umeridhika, labda mwingine hajaridhika, sijui una yapi ya kumweleza. Tumekuwa na siasa zenye cheche sana kali za maneno. Sasa wakati huo umepitwa na wakati, una yapi ya kusema?
Mimi kile nitasema kwamba sisi hatuna budi, itabidi tukubaliana na maamuzi ya koti na tuamini ya kwamba ilishatendeka na sote tusonge mbele.
Asante. Wacha tusikie kutoka kwa ndugu hapa. Songa mbele kidogo. Njoo mbele. Jina la kwako?
Kwa majina naitwa Bernard. Tumesema ni asante kwa hiyo uamuzi wa koti. Kila kitu iko sawa venye unaona. Kama sisi ni wanafunzi wa kikuu, sasa tuko na furaha kwa sababu kila kitu itaenda vizuri. Asante. Yeah.
Wale ambao hawakuridhika kwa maamuzi, ni kweli sio kila mtu ameridhika na maamuzi ya kotini, lakini ni sharti tu kwa mujibu wa sheria kwamba kila mtu akaweze kuridhika. Sijui wale ambao mambo hayakwenda walivyotarajia, utawaeleza vipi?
Wale ambao hawakuridhika itabidi waridhike kwa sababu hiyo ndio mwisho. Watosheke. Asante.
Wacha tusikie kutoka kwa dada hapa. Dada, songea mbele. Jina la kwako. Sasa hatua ndizo hizo kwa mujibu wa sheria. Sijui una yapi ya kusema.
Kwa majina ni Margaret Cairo. Nimefurahia na uamuzi wa koti kusema Ruto aendelee kuwa president elect mpaka tarehe 13 kwenye tutampisha. Nimefurahi, niko na furaha isiyo na kifani. Juu nilikuwa nimetarajia hivyo, juu tuliamka usiku na mapema kwenda kupiga kura. Sasa Mungu ametuonekania na Mungu ni mwema.
Baadhi ya malalamishi ambayo yamepelekwa kotini kwamba yanahusu uchaguzi, mengi ya malalamishi haya yameweza kufutiliwa mbali na koti. Endapo kutakuwa na masuala kama haya wakati utakaofuata, sijui ni yapi unaweza kusema wewe ukiwa mkazi?
Mimi nasema wakubali tu hivyo ilikuwa. Juu mwisho ilikuwa kotini. Hakuna pali pengine wanaweza. Kwa hivyo wakubali tu matokeo na wauge serikali mkono. Ndio tumechagua.
Kumekuwa na siasa zenye cheche za maneno, baadhi ya viongozi wakirushiana cheche za maneno. Wewe ukiwa mkazi wa eneo hili na ukiwa Mkenya, una yapi ya kusema?
Mimi nasema sasa siasa zimeisha, watu wafanye kazi, watu wapendane ndio tupate pesa.
Asante sana kwa muda wako. Acha tumsikize jamaa hapa, nilieneza yeye ni hustler.
Okay, asante sana, karibu. Mimi ni Martin Masaria. Kwanza kabisa nimefurahishwa na hii mambo ya bottom up. Changamoto zangu ningependa angalau hii serikali iweze kutuangushia kaunga, angalau na tumafuta, kwa sababu wakiangusha hata fuel bado ya gari itakuwa nikinunua mboga kwa bei rahisi. Sitahitaji mkaa ama mafuta taa. Mimi kwanza natumia kuni kupika nyumbani. Kwa hivyo unga ikianguka nitakuwa na maisha rahisi. Teke nikitoka shimo. Sasa changamoto zangu ni hizo tu na ninafurahia sana. Asanteni.
Ahadi ni nyingi kutoka kwa rais mteule wa sasa, na wakazi wa hapa na maeneo tofauti nchini wanatarajia makuu kutokana na ahadi zake wakati wa kampeni. Sijui unaona kama ataweza kutimiza hili?
Hapo ningeomba kwanza tuwe na unyenyekevu na tuwe na roho ya kuvumilia, kwa sababu hata kama anaweza hawezi kwa watu wote. Kwa wale ambao wataweza angalau waweze kufurahia, kwa sababu hata Yesu Kristo wakati alikuwa hapa duniani hakutimizia watu wote. Kwa hivyo naye tunafaa kumjali kama binadamu mwenzetu na tujua anaweza akatimiza ahadi. Lakini anapokunyenyekea, tunapokunyenyekea hata kama atakuwa na kushindwa, tukubali yao ni matokeo ya binadamu wa kawaida.
Kwa hivyo asipoweza pia ni sawa.
Asipoweza hawezi akashindwa kama rais, ataweza, ila wale ambao hawatatimiziwa wawe na roho ya unyenyekevu na kugoja siku yao pia.
Haya, acha tumsikie ndugu aliye nyuma yako. Ndugu, songa mbele kidogo tusikie jina la kwako na utueleze mawili matatu.
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Joseph Ngaruya. Mimi ni mkaaji hapa Naivasha. Ya kwanza sana nataka kurudishia wananchi shukrani sababu ya amani ambayo wameweka kwa huyo muda wote wakati wa uchaguzi mpaka leo wakati Supreme Court imetoa maamuzi yake. Nafurahia sana kwa sababu ya maamuzi ambayo yametolewa. Hiyo ombi langu ni moja tu, venye tulikuwa tumekaa kwa amani tuzidi kuishi na amani.
Huu ndio umekuwa uchaguzi ambao umekuwa wenye amani zaidi nchini. Sijui utasema nini?
Nashukuru sana Mwenyezi Mungu sababu ametupea amani. Na sijaiona uchaguzi mwingine kama huu ambao tumefanya nchini Kenya.
Asante. Sekunde 30, nimeelezwa muda wangu umezidi kwa finyu. Sijui majina yako yako.
Okay, majina yangu naitwa Agnes Kananu. Nashukuru Mungu sana. Kwanza turudishie Mungu shukrani kwa sababu ya amani ambayo tuko nayo siku ya leo, na furaha na kusherekea kwa sababu kile tuliomba Mungu ndiki alitupea. Sisi tuliomba ushindi wa Ruto na tumekuwa tukimuombea na tumeona Mungu na koti imeamua vile tulikuwa sisi wenyewe tunatarajia. Tunataka kuomba tu wenzetu wa upande ule mwingine watuunge pamoja, tufanye kazi kama pamoja na tulinde amani nchi yetu ya Kenya, na tutashukuru Mungu.
Asante. My colleagues in studio, those are the sentiments from the locals around this place within Naivasha town. Naivasha is quite big. But nonetheless, the greatest hurdle now is to the deputy president, now the president-elect, who has to take what it has to take to ensure that he delivers to many of his promises, whereas it has been heard from these locals here that indeed he has to live up to his promises and pledges during his campaigns. Nonetheless, we live up to the space and watch what is going to be unfolding in his administration. But from me here in Naivasha, we are just going to be keeping a watch in what is developing around this place, and we take back the mantle back to you in studio so that you may proceed on with the discussions. Thank you.
Well, back to you. Thank you very much, Willie Dennis Njiru. Like you can see, those are the live pictures coming to you from Naivasha town in Nakuru County. Smiley faces, like you can see, all of course, the residents of Naivasha town being in a celebratory mood, despite the fact that they're in a market setup. I'm being informed that other parts of Naivasha town, everyone is in a celebratory mood after the announcement that was made by the Supreme Court judges that William Ruto's victory in the just concluded general election gets to be upheld, and he has been declared as the 5th president-elect of the Republic of Kenya. Of course, in studio right now, I am with Stanley Nyaringit. I mean, Kenyans are in a jubilatory mood. From various parts of the country, we've seen residents of Naivasha town and other parts of the country. What is your take on the judgment that was given out by the Supreme Court earlier today?
Number one, this particular judgment was unanimous. So there were 9 particular issues that were raised. Again, 8 actually issues that were raised by the Supreme Court. But then again, due to time, don't really have enough time to actually go through all of this. But then the Supreme Court said that they'll be giving a full judgment on after 21 days. So we'll have to again wait to see why did they actually say this particular petition was was thrown out, and all of this particular points.
Yeah, what has really caught my attention is how mature Kenyans have actually been about the entire process. Despite the judgment that was made by the 7 Supreme Court judges, a lot of people, there were people that were for, or rather the protagonists and the antagonists, but everyone has actually accepted the verdict that was made out earlier. We had the advocate of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance team, that was James Orengo, saying that the law will always prevail, of course accepting the verdict that had been made by the Supreme Court judges, but at the same time going ahead to fault the Supreme Court judges for not really looking keenly into some of the issues, the 8 issues that they put across in the appellate court. We also saw one of the advocates of the Azimio la Umoja, that is Philip Murgor, disagreeing with the 9 points, getting disqualified and not having even a single issue from their side not getting to pass, or rather the Supreme Court judges getting to pass either of the issues, and saying, he was rather taken aback by the term that the Chief Justice, that is Martha Koome, used on one of the advocates of the Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Alliance, that is Julie Soweto, saying that one of the evidences that she presented in court is just hot air, and they were vehemently going against that comment and saying that the Supreme Court judges did not go through, or rather did not do justice to the petition that they filed in court. But
indeed, and basically, just to quote what they had said, we find it incredible that judges found against us all 9 issues, and occasion resulted to unduly exaggerated language to refute our claims. So definitely they also say that they're going to give periodic updates, and also update us on basically the Azimio update us on the way forward, because again they say that as much as the ruling has been made, the movement still continues. So again we have to see again if this particular opposition, if it will continue, because William Ruto has said that he is not ready for handshake, but then he is ready for sit down, a cup of tea, let us talk.
Yeah.
But then, keep us on toes, but then no handshake.
But at the same time, while we're waiting for the Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Alliance team to give us further directives on what other measures they're going to take after the verdict from the Supreme Court, We've already seen a statement being put out by the flag bearer of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Lands, that is Raila Odinga.
Indeed.
And he says that he has accepted the verdict, but of course being displeased by the outcome of the verdict. Now he said that he's still yet to communicate on the next course of action that they're going to take. Of course, earlier on we also saw Martha Karua on her social media handle respecting the verdict that had been put out by the Supreme Court judges, but saying that she is displeased by the verdict itself and how it has been made. But bottom of it all is that the rule of law upholds and they respect the rule of law.
Indeed, and it has been quite a long, bumpy road, you remember, from the early campaigns and then all the way to preparing for these particular elections, and then on that particular day, the 9th day of August, having the voting process begin, and then the tallying phase began, and then the announcement of the presidential results on the 15th day of August, and then again we also saw the whole presidential petition, the petitioners filing this particular presidential petitions, and then last week the hearing of these particular cases. And then today, the 5th day of September, the judgment day, actually confirming the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, basically, and he is 55 years old.
Just a brief, recap of some of the judges from the Kenya Kwanza coalition stated, one of them being Fred Ngatia, saying that this was the best judgment that is ever witnessed in the petitions that have been filed, or rather challenging the presidential election. Since 2013, he stated that they had 2 petitions. In 2017, they also had 2 petitions. And then in 2022, they had 8 petitions. So it was such a huge victory for the legal team of the Kenya Kwanza team for winning 8 petitions, Stanley Nyaringita. I mean, it is a big day for Kenyans, and majorly the supporters of the 5th president-elect, that is William Samoei Ruto, who has had his election victory getting to be upheld by the Supreme Court of Kenya. Remember, one important point to remember is that according to the Constitution of Kenya, the inauguration of the president-elect should be taking place on the first Tuesday of, on the first Tuesday, 7 days after the verdict has been announced by the Supreme Court.
Which is basically the 13th day of September 2022, and we'll be keeping tabs on that particular day. All those particular, all those particular events that will be happening, we'll be definitely keeping tabs on that. Our time is up right here. My name is Stanley Nyaringita.
And my name is Dennis Otieno. Many thanks for your valid company. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.